Good morning. Hi, it's LindaLee, and I'm not doing a little making of a junk journal series video today. What I'm actually going to do is a little science experiment, if you want to call it that. I'm going to try to rust some stuff. So charms and safety pins and paper clips. I originally wanted to do it with paper clips, but I really don't have very many. I can't find them. I know I have them. It's just I don't know where they are. So I gathered up a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, what I'm going to be doing is creating a corrosive. So what does that mean? That means that you can potentially get chemically burned. Some people might be more sensitive to others. So that's why I kind of have this up front. Do at your own risk. This is just me giving it a try. I saw a couple other folks do it online, and this is just me trying to do something similar. But I wanted to take you with me just because, it's kind of fun. And at the same time, I just want you to be very, very careful. What we're doing is we're using white vinegar, hydrogen peroxide, and salt. And what you want to do is get a glass jar. Because it's corrosive, we don't want to use anything that's already metal or plastic, because you're gonna potentially eat through that, depending on how long you leave your solution inside the jar. Now, last night I did this and I kind of duplicated this little pile, and it's in this jar right now. So we've got a chemical reaction that's happened, and we're going to take out those bits and pieces. But before we do that, we're going to make the mixture. I'm going to take these bits and pieces out so we can kind of compare the two piles, and then we're going to put these in the new jar, and then I'll have a whole bunch of stuff. But I'm not gonna time lapse it or anything else. That's kind of why I did the other jar last night. And from what I understand, when you take them out, as they dry and sit in the open air, they will even rust more than how they discolor when we take them out. But in doing this, I didn't really have a measure cup that I could find. So all I did is I took a little juice glass and I put a piece of washi tape on here. So I just poured the hydrogen peroxide in once and put it in my jar, and then I filled it twice to this level for the white vinegar. And we're going to do that right now. So first we'll do the hydrogen peroxide. Now, from videoing from up above, I'm not sure how this is all going to translate. I'm sure you can kind of see what I'm doing. Actually, hold on. Let me pull you up on my tablet. Now, I'm pre-recording this, so it's not going to be like a live or anything like that, but I'm videoing it so I can at least view it as I do it. That way I can make sure that I'm in frame. And here we go. All right. So, all right, so I got my little glass jar and my hydrogen peroxide. Now I'm going to just fill to that line twice, so I have my 2 parts vinegar. Now this is white vinegar, white distilled vinegar. I think all white vinegar is distilled though. I don't know much about any other kind of vinegar. I've only seen this done with the white vinegar. So that's what we're doing. Now, if it's not exact, I don't think it's anything really crucial. But I'm just showing you kind of how I did it. So, and then we have salt. So as far as the salt, I didn't use a full tablespoon or a teaspoon. I just kind of filled, I'll show you how much I did. I just kind of filled the bottom of the spoon. I didn't really fill it. And we just dump that in. Now, let me get this little bits here. So now the solution itself isn't really going to hurt you right now. I don't think. I don't know. I wouldn't play with it though. But once we put the metal bits in there, that's where the chemical reaction comes in. Now, I'm not using this metal spoon anymore. That was just simply to measure the salt. I have these little plastic tongs. You can get them in the plasticware or party area in the Dollar Tree. So I got these from there because that's what I'm going to use to remove the ones that I put in yesterday onto this paper towel. Now, just so you know kind of what else I have a wet baby wipe or paper towel, or it could be a dish towel of some sort, just so I can, you know, kind of, I'm going to touch it. I know I'm going to touch it. So just so I can kind of rinse my fingers a little bit or wipe off the chemical solution. See, look at that. It just dripped on my hand. Now, it's not burning me or anything, but potentially I guess it could. Some people might be more sensitive to it. Now, I was going to just dump this solution into another jar. But I think these little tongs will work at taking this out. So that must be coated because nothing came, that doesn't look to be any different. I don't think this is going to work. I think I'm going to have to dump this jar. All right. So I have another jar. And let's just go ahead and dump this. And now I'm just going to dump these out. Now, I did this last night at around 10 o'clock. And some of this stuff had a really cool reaction. So here's my paper clip. Look at that. Nothing happened really. So here's a charm. Here's safety pins. Now, from what I understand, you really don't want to rinse this stuff because you can kind of rinse away the coating that's on the surface. Now, you just want to let it air dry, and as it air dries, it's gonna either patina if it's something that, you know, doesn't necessarily rust. Cool. And just separate these so we can see them a little bit. Turn this one over. And I don't know if I can zoom in. I really don't have that kind of camera. I'm videoing on my phone. But let's kind of compare what's going on here. So, see in the oxidation is actually rubbing off as I move them around a little bit. That's what the black is that's on the paper towel. So I did this at 10 o'clock last night. I want to say it's around 10 o'clock the next morning. And this stuff here is the heart paper clip. So this is what it looked like going in. And that's what it looks like now. Can you see me? Not really, huh? Okay, let's see if I can move the camera down and over. I'm not sure how well this is gonna work. It's one of those gooseneck ones, so it kind of has a little bit of a mind of its own. But at the same time, let's kind of... Hopefully you guys aren't, motion sick prone. So at least you can kind of see a little better. I have some extra lights on. I got some natural light this morning. It's sunny outside. But yeah. So there's the original heart paperclip. This here, this one went in the solution, and this one is the original. So nothing happened there. So what I'm going to do is when I throw the new batch in to my new solution, I'm going to throw those in again too. Anything that didn't really discolor a lot, I'm going to throw back in. But now my butterfly one started, if you can kind of see, where am I? So if you can kind of see, it started, here's the original. Turn it over so it's the same. And then the one that sat in the solution overnight. So basically 12 hours is what they were in there. Okay. This right here is a lobster clasp that I got out of my jewelry stuff. Here is the original. So let's see. And then this one. So that turned out really cool. Oh, where am I? Can you see? Am I in the right spot? I'm just waiting for the camera to catch up again, just so I can tell. There you go. So pretty cool, huh? Now, all of the little ball pins, I put in the ball pins. I had, I think 3 or 4 different finishes. I had gold, I had the black, and I had the gunmetal. But they are all rusted. So if you can see them on here, my little safety pins, I had silver and gold, and the big one that's gold. So I'm using my other hand now. So here is the big one. Here is a little one. And then this one here is the other silver one. So hopefully, I gotta wait for it to catch up now. There's kind of a lag just so you can see them. So anyway, now we just have to let them dry. And rumor has it that they might rust a little bit more. So pretty cool, huh? Now, this paper clip didn't really rust. That's kind of interesting. This one definitely didn't rust. So I'm just going to take those and I'm going to put in this butterfly that kind of rusted. I'm going to put it back in. Now, if you're part of my group in Junk Journal Junkies, etc., I'll put pictures in here or on of all of the ultimate final results. There's a couple of charms. So these are the natural before they went in, and these are the after. Just trying to get it in focus. Is it working? I'll get this camera thing down. I swear to God. I'm getting closer and closer every time I learn a little bit more. I also did some book corners. The little metal bits that you put in the corner of your cardboard. Now, they were already almost like a vintage brass color. But they did patina a little bit. So maybe I'll throw those back in too and see if they get a little bit darker. And what I'll do is I'll post pictures, like I said. So cool, huh? Now this little kitty charm was, I didn't have another one that was exactly like it, but I have a little skull and crossbones. That was the finish that was on the kitty. So that turned out really good. And I had an old key that I wasn't using anymore. I don't even know what it goes to, type of thing. That turned out awesome. And then the only other thing that I want to bring up close and personal is this guy here. So this charm, that turned out really cool as well. Am I in frame? I'm waiting. Okay. So that's what I did this morning. Played with last night. I don't know. Maybe I will explore the editing features that are out there and record again what these look like all dry and what the next batch looks like, especially the ones that I throw in again. I don't know. We'll give it a try maybe. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll just save it for another day. But anyway, remember, glass, it's very corrosive. Now, you could, I don't know, I wish my guy was home because he used to work in an electroplating plant and used to put finishing on, screws and whatnot so that they don't rust. But I don't know if it can be dumped down the drain or not. If you did, I would probably flush it really, really, really super well with cold water. But I'm actually going to dump it outside. I'm going to just find a little spot where, it's okay to have a little burn spot in the grass without hurting any plants. Because I don't want to put this down my drain without knowing and potentially hurting anything or anybody. So that is my little morning experiment. And I guess I got to learn how to zoom in and out a little bit. So there you go. And remember, if you do this with the kids, make sure you're supervising and they're not touching any solution because they can potentially be hurt. And I don't want that. So rust at your own risk and have fun. Throw bits and pieces in. It's kind of cool. I was really surprised that it came out as well as it did. It actually the water started turning brown within minutes, probably I'd say 5 minutes. It was already pretty cloudy. I couldn't really see through it anymore, not like, this one is here. Alrighty then, so that's it for me. I'm just going to drop all these bits in so that we can kind of see what happens with the next batch. Now I have seen where somebody saved the solution and used it again. I don't know about any of that and really what would happen. I'm throwing in those book corners back in, see if I can get a little bit more reaction. And I'm just gonna let this dry. I'm working on a glass surface. I do have a plastic garbage bag folded up under my paper towels so that I don't, damage my table at all. Being that it is glass, it probably would have been fine. But just so you are aware, make sure you put plastic down so that if you're working on a wooden table or something that has a veneer finish, I don't know what this corrosive could do to it. And you just want to protect your surface area so that, you know, it looks good for years to come while you're crafting. So I'm just going to kind of shake this around. And I bet if I continue to talk, you're going to see it. So it's already went from clear to cloudy. I don't know how long. I'm not going to sit here and, you know, time lapse it or anything like that. You can take my word for it. You can see what the other jar was. So that's it for me. We're all done for now. Until the next video. Have some fun. We got some time on our hands, so why not pull stuff out of the cupboard and play a little bit. Just be careful, okay? I don't want anything in my comments that say, you didn't tell me and my little one got burnt and my pipes are, you know, falling apart now. I already told you I'm not going to dump this down the drain. So that's it. My disclaimer. Have fun, guys. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Good morning. Hiya, it's LindaLee. And this is part 2 of making rusty bits. So it's either part 2 or the second half because I figured out how to put 2 videos together. We'll see. I'm just going to take a brief moment to see if I can bring myself up and make sure I'm framed. But I kind of did the second batch a little different than what I originally planned. I was going to do it for 12 hours. I ended up leaving it in the solution 24. So this is the second batch, and it's been in this little jar for 24 hours. Well, almost, maybe 20 hours, 22 hours. But actually, before I play with those, this is yesterday's stuff. So remember, let me see if I can bring this in a little closer. Remember I did it yesterday, and how's that? So I did it yesterday, and I did throw some of them back in the jar to sit longer, but I told you that they would continue to rust. Well, they did, and they look absolutely amazing. And also, too, I was kind of concerned because when I took them out yesterday, they were like, the finish was kind of wiping off. But now that they sat, they're dried, and they rusted up a little more, it doesn't feel like it's rubbing off at all. It feels like it's pretty much on there. Now, I could probably take like a matte medium, or a gel medium rather, and seal it. Isn't this gear perfect though? Look at this. Let me put on a little piece of paper. Can you see it? I'm just going to kind of wait for the feed, make sure it's like in the camera's face, which is what I wanted. Yeah. Oh, it's so cool. The little kitty charm. And that one was silver. But everything looks so cool. So I'm just going to move this aside. And I did throw a couple of extra things in yesterday after we kind of redid the brew. Oh boy. This is going to be juicier coming out, I think, than in the ones that were yesterday. So it's just another glass jar that I'm pouring my corrosive into. And Now I have paper towel and a plastic bag under the paper towel, just protecting the surface of my table. And that looks like everything. So now, remember I said in the first half that I couldn't find any paper clips? My mom had a stash, so she brought me some paper clips. She also brought me some keys that she had no idea what they were too. Some real keys, not our little decorator keys. See, look at this. Some of these paper clips still didn't really change. These didn't change, so those are definitely coated with something to protect the metal, which is good to know, I guess. Now, interestingly, see, I shouldn't have done that. See, I kind of rubbed off. Okay, so seriously, don't rinse these or blot them or anything. Just kind of let them dry. I don't know if you saw what just happened, but I kind of blotted it because it was full of foam from the corrosive, and it kind of wiped part of it off. So now we just have to wait, and hopefully that'll rust right there. I'm not sure how some of this stuff got tangled. And I guess we'll just wait till it dries before I take it apart. Now, oh, little duck and duckies just walked by my window. This was a button. Key, another key. Some successful paper clips and safety pin. Like, oh, it's so frothy. I want to rinse them. A couple of charms. This is my skull and crossbone charm. I guess we kind of have to wait to really see that. I dropped in a little pieces of chain that got rusted. Now remember, this is a corrosive, so that's why I'm using the plastic tongs. Washer. Now the book corners don't really look like they've rusted. They do look, see, this was silver. This is from my jewelry stuff. Look at that. Cool, huh? What was I starting to say? I'm sorry. I got distracted. This was a shiny silver charm too. This music note. So I guess now we just have to wait, let them dry. And kind of see what's next. Wonder why this one got so frothy. You know what I did? Actually, because I added more metal to it, the solution turned almost like a gray. So like instead of it being acidic, it turned more alkaline. So I added peroxide. So maybe it was the additional peroxide that made it froth up. Now this tiny key here, I thought it was like aluminum because it was super lightweight. But it must not be, because aluminum wouldn't have tarnished, I don't think. Well, it would still have maybe patinaed. I don't know. I'll have to ask Bob, my guy. Another gear. Can you see? Can you see? Isn't it exciting? So that's how you rust stuff, my friends. That's it. Okay, so that's really all I had with the second part too. I just wanted to kind of reveal what was in the jar. I'm trying to turn that over. I'm being nosy. I can't not touch them. I want to see. See, it's interesting how I got all of the paper clips kind of turned except for these two. So, I guess that's it. Unless I do a brief part 3. So maybe we'll let them dry before I try to put these videos together to make one. I gotta look it up on YouTube to see how to put videos together. Okay, that's it. Maybe we'll see you later, or maybe that's it. I don't know. Have a great morning. Enjoy your coffee. Okay, I'm going to try this up close video so you can kind of see some detail. Hopefully it's focused. It's so cool. And my favorites are anything that has corrosion on it, the green. Those are amazing. So all in all, successful experiment. So I encourage you to try to rust your own bits. Look at that safety pin. Oh my God. I'm going to have a hard time parting with that. And the butterflies. They didn't really rust, but they're definitely corroding. And these charms. Come on, focus. There we go. And some chain. Seeing the Buddha. And my jewelry clasps. I won't use them for jewelry, but I'll definitely put them in a journal. And then the paper clips. And then this piece, I'm not sure where this came from, but it looks awesome. And then the button. Will it focus? There we go. There's my rusty lot. Thanks for hanging out. Like and subscribe. Talk to you soon.